Good morning, everybody. I'm Kyle Fergusson. This is Heroes of the Pants, the Frogpants Network for Fun tournament. There are doubles allowed on each side. There are no sort of drafting rules or anything like that. This is a for fun tournament, but we are in the round of 8 now, and all the games are happening concurrently. This is the only one being cast at the moment. This is Adults with Jobs versus Disastrous Weather event, the Group L of the round of 2. Look it up. Frogpants, Heroes of the Pants, to see the bracket, and after this we were moving into the semifinals at 3 o'clock Pacific today. But here on this map, Cursed Hollow, in fact, if it is not Spider Queen for the first one, we got Adults with Jobs, Retro Funk on his Master Skin Uther, Gorilla-chan, ooh, new Jaina player, Archer on Johanna, Randy on the Vala, and Nat's still sporting that awesome dancing Nazebo down there. Otherwise, on the other team, we got Disastrous Weather event with Bonduke on Butcher, Mafiki on Avala, Rhaegar solo mid, in fact, with a, oh my goodness, what is a Nicholas is what I'm going with on that one. And Sylvanas down here got Dracomar. And bringing up the rear, grabbing the last drink at the bar is Tenzi, the Muradin. I have not gotten to see Disastrous Weather event play yet, but I have casted Adults with Jobs before, and they did a superb job yesterday. Great team play. Not really a gang team, more just moving as a single unit across all of Spider Queen. So I'm quite excited to see what they bring to us today. Up top, this is pretty common for them, actually. A sort of perfect little 3 comp with the Jaina, Uther, and the Johanna in front. Gonna push out this Vala behind the wall pretty easy. Here comes Butcher back around. Needs to farm up some blood for sure, some fresh meat, and down bottom, 2 specialists warring it out. Probably no one's gonna get too far down there. So looks like this mid lane and top lanes are the ones to watch. Pretty surprising damage coming out from Randy there, keeping a... Oh, looks like we have a pause, an emergency pause of some kind. We'll see what's going on here in just a moment. While we pause here, let's take a look at the talents. We got Conjurer's Pursuit. Oh, but still waiting to see what's going on here. Oh, their TeamSpeak went down. Okay, rather important. Meanwhile, Conjurer's Pursuit on the Uther, fine, great pick here on Cursed Hollow. Every time you take a tribute, it drops a orb. So, of course, if you can get the tributes early on, you're going to snowball out of control a little bit over the opposing team's healer. If they went Conjure Pursuit. In this case, we have a Rhaegar actually going the chain heal spec early on, which is perfectly understandable. Auto attack build from Vala. Pretty basic for the rest of them. Knight takes pawn, the overwhelmingly popular choice, though on paper doesn't look like it. Anything else interesting? Looks like we're doing... Continues to heal on the meat. Pretty good choice. I like the 3 stacks when you kill him with the hamstring, but that's... It's all pretty personal. It all accomplishes the same goal. Ooh, a multi-shot build from this Vala, so we'll get to see which one is truer. And a block, which is going to be pretty effective against the Vala. They're small little attacks, so there are other choices that could have been more effective, perhaps. But still, block, always a safe choice. Butcher charging in here, and just going to get blown down by an Uther stun, a Jaina Blizzard, and of course, a Johanna there to defend. Meanwhile, down bottom, both are almost at the exact same health. Nazebo gonna be a little low mana. He's going with the permanent build, so he's gonna be low mana in the beginning and then have a higher health pool and mana pool as the later game goes on. And now it's time to relocate. What are the choices here? Doesn't look like top is moving at all. In fact, they're choosing to wail on a wall that has no mana left. Butcher overextending a little bit, getting hit by 2 waves of Blizzard there. Gonna have to back up, gonna have to hit the well if he's got one, which he does. And that leaves the fight here, Disastrous Weather event. Gonna pretty handily take this, unless a Nazebo keeps him busy for too long, which he doesn't. A little bit off on the zombie wall there, and they manage to walk away with the first tribute. Looks like we have Vala relocating top back to where she originally came from. Butcher fell while we were missing. And Jaina and Uther continue to stick around. Of course, Uther just gonna stun her in the face. Great vault getting out of that blizzard there. Would have been a ton of damage. Hate Nicholas coming up, laying down, and oh, the stun from it whiffs. Stun from Muradin whiffs, and that leaves Retrofunk with a very easy to hit stun going out on the Ray Guard there. Hot pursuit, but no auto attack damage to clean up. Blizzard misses. And Butcher charging the Vala. She's still got Volt, but does she have enough mana for it? She just walks out. Of course, he's probably a little concerned after the early game, where he had to back once and died once already. Jojo, a secret Johanna waiting in the bushes down here. Of course, with her Knights take spawn, she can clear lanes pretty easily. Nazeebo coming in. Oh, so that's just a nice little exchange while Nazeebo went back and soaked, or went back and got mana, and Johanna did the soaking. Great play by Adults with Jobs. All right, here we go. Second one. Disastrous weather event moving in. Looks like we're going to have a full group. Maybe Sylvanas still stuck downtown with the Nazeebo, keeping her busy. Decent positioning from Disastrous weather event. Jojo putting herself in front, Uther in front as well. This could be a pretty scary sandwich, though. Retrofunk trying to get out of the business. All the damage, though, going off on Johanna. She pops her shield, barely taking any real health damage, and that's going to be a dead Butcher. Meanwhile, everyone's chasing the Vala upworld, and that's going to leave Adults with Jobs time to regroup in the back, possibly. But now this leaves the Jaina out by herself. Muradin just laying into her as best he can. Uther going around, possibly going to go for that, and this will be a dead Rhaegar. Muradin has to get back. Vala, Butcher may be able to do a little bit of poke here and stop this from being picked up, but for the most part, that's going to be the first tribute for Adults with Jobs. Down in the bottom lane, looks like Nats is slowly winning the war of attrition here. Slowly pushing out this wall. Walls are out of ammo, one tower down, in fact. Meanwhile, Adults with Jobs bottom wall in perfect health, perfect ammo. Solo Jaina up top with a stunner and some auto attack on the enemy side. This could be dangerous for her if she overextends, but she's hugging the tower walls, making sure that if they do dive on her, at least they'll take that bonus damage. Great little mini shot there with the Frostboat, realizing there was no minions in front, so might as well get a little bit of chill off. And Adults with Jobs definitely favors this Uther, Johanna, roaming Merc comp. Not going to be the highest damage, but I guess you're not really missing too much lane push from the lanes while you get that done. And once again, Nazeebo's going to be down bottom, and in fact, if Adults with Jobs can get a kill in here, this could put them up at level 10. Butcher charges around from the back on the Jaina. Great target for that. Randy ends up picking up the tribute in the background, and that could have taken him out. Looks like that's going to be a dead Jaina. And Retrofunk Archer trying to defend. They need Randy to regroup. All right, there's an overextend from the Butcher a little bit, but here's Sylvanas actually coming around the top. Has to pop his invulnerable on himself. Retrofunk getting out. Archer getting out the back way. He's got the heal on himself. And only the Jaina falls. With level 10 for Adults with Jobs. Nothing too surprising in their specs there, but they do have level 10 here, so they're trying to pick a quick fight, hoping they can get a kill off. Vala going with the strafe. Really about the only choice. Blessed Shield every time on Archer I've seen. A very surprising stun to come out of a hero that really doesn't lock people down too well outside of melee range. So always the preferred choice in my opinion. Meanwhile, Drakon Mar is getting his push on. Nat's coming back in, got full mana, ready to go. He's, of course, just going to cast a bit willy-nilly like Nazeebo does. And this will be the third or fourth tribute popping up, but could be Adults with Jobs' first curse. We have Butcher immediately heading into position. Tense a little far behind, needs to be the first one in there. Retrofunk coming around. Archer getting in position. Great repositioning by Randy there so he can be in the back. Tense coming back. And it'll really come down to the Butcher and Tense's call, the Muradin. There's a stun, landing decently on the Uther. He gets locked down for a second. Randy unloading so much damage in the background. Great ancestral heal on the Butcher. And Hate Nicholas has to get back. He's too low. Muradin gets too low. Butcher gets too low as they all try to back up, leaving him behind. And looks like they're in hot pursuit. They're not even going to stop. That's a dead Vala as well. And they're closing on the Sylvanas, who does not have her haunting wave. And, well, that leaves the healer dancing in the background, hoping he can do something. But that instead is a curse for Adults with Jobs, and they're going to take this bottom fort. Uncontested for the most part. Plenty of auto attack damage to burn through this thing. Hate Nicholas is going to run down, going to immediately get stuck by the Uther ult. Retrofunk constantly putting himself in that slightly forward position to get those early stuns. Here comes Muradin. Here comes the Butcher. They need to wait for Vala or Sylvanas if they want to get something done, but they have 10 now. 2-level disparity. And they're just going to get out. Are they going to go for boss? They are. This could be dangerous. Jane up top, taking a tower there, all by herself. Forced to clear this middle lane as it's the last fort they have in the middle. And so what's happening now? So Butcher sees this. They need to get into position. They gotta hurry. This thing is already below half health, and no, they're just gonna call it off. They're gonna go take their own mercs. And now it comes to what's Adults with Jobs gonna do on the back of this. Disastrous Weather wants to take their camp, but they know they gotta get back in position for that boss that's gonna push all the way bottom. And as the curse stops, that's just gonna be more and more camps for Adults with Jobs. And in fact, will they loop around to the top and take Disastrous Weather's side boss? I think they are, and oh god, nothing hurts quite like that. That is just a disgusting play. A beautiful play, of course, but one that no one really wants to be on the receiving end. And, well, plenty of DPS. Certainly with the Butcher, he's going to clean up anything that doesn't move extremely fast. He's even going, looks like going to be doing the full fresh meat build where he gets later on the 35% increased attack speed. So could be a very good late game comp. This could be dangerous though for a Disastrous Weather event. But looks like Adults with Jobs just going to blindly miss him. Going to push down, going after the Sylvanas. In fact, Dracomar, do you have your Haunting Wave? Nope. Falls. Might have had it, but didn't matter. Too much lockdown. So mercs for Disastrous Weather event, they're having to go top. Great timing though. They are able to take a camp and then get up here. Butcher, again, look at this damage. This thing is gonna fall so fast. Even the Vala choosing not to move so she can just keep on DPSing it down as fast as possible. Keep it off these back keeps. And here goes Adults with Jobs wailing on the middle fort. Little bit of a push happening for the bottom with Disastrous Weather event, but this is a pretty commanding position. 2-level lead. Level 14 talents, and, well, level 13 talents, of course, and there they are. So no more talent disparity, but if Adults with Jobs can get to level 16, that'll be some serious trouble for them. Of course, level 16 is a pretty big jump in power for just about every hero, particularly spellcasters like Jaina, and also the survivability of things like Uther. So let's see where this goes. Gonna go steal their site now. They got 2 levels on him. Maybe spot the Butcher there as he moves in, possibly getting into position. Vala far, far back. This will be a 5v3 or 5v4 if they actually start it up. And nope, we're just gonna casually dodge each other as we make our way to that top one, which Disastrous Weather is refusing to give away. Butcher moving in. He's got to pop that ult. He needs this ult there for the damage before he can die, and that's a great heal off on him. Jaina, just such a beautiful ice block there. So much damage going on. That is a dead Vala, dead Rhaegar, dead Butcher, and, well, looks like Sylvanas and Muradin are going to fall on top of that. Sylvanas might be able to get back here, but Water Elemental's coming around on her. She needs to make sure she doesn't get chilled. It dies a bit early. Nats takes the tribute, and that's 1 for them. So, you know, no curse, nothing too disastrous on the back of that other than a full team wipe and the 3-level lead that Adults with Jobs is now sitting in. So only 5 seconds after all the fighting, after all the tribute getting, they only have about 5 seconds until everyone starts spawning back up. So nothing Adults with Jobs can really get done during this time. Gonna take this to camp. Getting a little dangerous there, Nats, but he'll be all right. He's got zombie walls. Just gonna clear some lanes. Of course, this does push more XP towards Disastrous Weather events, so there's still that comeback potential. Giant Killer on the Vala going to be very powerful against the Johanna if she can target it. So, all right, Adults with Jobs possibly going for their Giants. Oh, this could put them out of position, but all 5 are here. No, they're going to call it. It's a 3v5. Jaina coming around in the background. Johanna in a great position to soak the damage and takes the stun. Water Elemental's going down. Vala out of position there. She didn't know that all 5 were there. Now everyone's arrived. Nats comes in the back. Auto-attacking. Toads go out. Oh my goodness. Another cleanup from Adults with Jobs. And Tense is forced to get his tank body out. And Gargantuan really wants him. Not even Not even auto-attacking the wall, just really wants tense. He's gonna get himself killed. In the background of this, there is gonna be another tribute going to Retrofunk, Uther picking it up. Let's take a look at the damage while everyone's down. 27,000 on Adults with Jobs Jaina, next to the 14,000 on Disastrous Weather Events Vala. That is quite the damage disparity. Lots of damage tanked on the Muradin, and with only 2 deaths, he's doing a great job. And in fact, Rhaegar is healing his buns off as best he can throughout all this. And I don't think they're out. I don't think Disastrous Weather Event is out. They have a Butcher with Furnace Blast. There's so much comeback potential with that, so much burst damage that could happen. But this is another boss for Adults with Jobs, and it looks like Disastrous Weather Event is still trying to figure it out. They can't even go take their own boss on the back of this because it hasn't cooled down yet. So they're having to take their bruisers. What do we got? We got 28 seconds on the top boss. So we'll see if Adults with Jobs tries to pull the same tricks again. Uther closing in. Oh, got Vala around from the top, using that Haunting Wave a little too early, and even if she did escape from the stuns, that would have been stuck in a Nazebo wall. That is grody. Butcher coming around, getting a little surprised. Oh, didn't think everyone would be there. Heal going off on him a little too late. Too much delay on that heal. Hate Nicholas is trying to get everyone back he can, but Muradin falls. He gets stuck on the zombie wall. Great placement, Nats. And that leaves Vala as the Soul Defender. Not a bad Soul Defender, particularly from behind a wall, but the wall is going to go down wicked fast, which will leave her in a very exposed position. Meanwhile, this boss still wailing on the bottom fort. Oh my goodness, and they're going to back out, aren't they? They're just going to go get the other boss. They just want to play safe. They don't want to give this game away by pushing too deep while everyone responds pretty quickly at the 15-minute mark. And they're going to burn through this again. Everyone's still rezzing up. And even this boss is going to keep walking on, touch the core, activate the shields at the very least. And that's a curse as well. Boss is still clumping away. The Butcher's fine clearing this up. He needs to do everything he can to keep these forts up to get that little bit of XP. Basically, to stop Adults with Jobs from getting their level 20 augments. But here they come. They want this fort. And they are very well grouped up. But Johanna pretty far behind. This could be a chance for Butcher to charge in and take out Vala and Jaina, but looks like they charge in a little late, and that ice block goes off. That's a great Furnace Blast, but doesn't matter with the 3-level disparity. It's just not enough damage to surprise Adults with Jobs, and they're just going to push right through. Oh, man. And the cleanup once again. And can Vala escape? She does, but with on the back of this boss, that is most certainly going to be a GG. In fact, Sylvanas going possession this map. Didn't notice that. Maybe, you know, in this sort of losing position, there's plenty of places to take a, you know, to mind control an enemy catapult. So, not necessarily a bad choice. I'm not sure a silencing arrow could have been exactly what they needed. So no point to, you know, kind of zero in on that. Otherwise, we have some very sort of standard builds. Butcher investing a lot into the fresh meat in the early game. But it's actually a detriment to him in this case because he died so much in that early game, he never actually got enough stacks to get the up to 35 and then get the bonus 35% attack speed. And with only a Rhaegar to heal him and no secondary support, there was nothing really to stop him or to get him in there for the whole thing to finish it off. So this is a best of 3. We got 2 more to go if Disastrous Weather can win this next one. So let's go ahead and clear out of this right quick in case I'm missing an invite of some kind. Let's take a look at the chat. Of course, I do not look at the chat while we are casting, because I've done that once accidentally, and that was a horrible idea. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Yes, this is on a 5-minute delay. Good morning, everybody. Best of 3. Yep, we're into the best of 3. The finals will be our only best of 5. Oh, thank you, Daniel J. Newman. I appreciate. What is the proper call? Do you avoid fights if you're not on the same talent tier and try to farm XP? Do you always try to make a play before the snowball gets bigger? That is a very good question. It is, in fact, almost entirely dependent. Oh, wait. It looks like I missed my invite for half a second. Yeah, it's a really tough choice. One of the important things to realize is that in the background of you being of the enemy team sort of dominating the map, they are pushing tons of XP towards your lanes. And they had a Sylvanas with possession in that case. What they really had to do was get Sylvanas to be the defender. Just put one guy on defense and the other guys go out and try to get whatever camps they can and, you know, to see what they could make happen. The problem was adults with jobs continued to play safely. You know, that certainly kind of leaves it up to adults with jobs to make a mistake so that Disastrous Weather could actually get in there, get a gank of some kind on, you know, 3 or 4, a 4v4, while Sylvanas is stuck in the background defending, getting all that XP, and that just makes it really hard. Cool. I will be right back, guys. Gonna put on a bit of music while we get this game loaded up. We are back with round 2 of Adults with Jobs versus Disastrous Weather Event. I am still Kyle Fergusson, and it looks like Disastrous Weather Event has done a pretty steep overhaul of their composition. We'll get to see that when we get in, of course. Some of the load-up features as an observer are a bit glitchy, so didn't quite get to see the entire team comp, but it looks like they may have switched out their entire lineup, whereas Adults with Jobs still sticking to that exact same comp we saw in the last game. This is for the win for Adults with Jobs. Let's put them at 2 wins and a best of 3, advancing them on to the semifinals, which will happen later today at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So let's take a look at this comp. Looks like our Butcher swapped over to a Zagara. We have Malfikink on the Uther, Tense on an ETC. Ooh, the healer, in fact, Hate Nicholas going over to a Kael'thas, and Dracomar, the previous specialist, moving over to a Tyrael. Not really a one-to-one translation of skills, but of course we all play a number of healers. And still, Adults with Jobs on the far side, we got Jaina, Retrofunk, Uther, Archer. They're once again taking that perfect sort of comp lane. And let's see, they want to make something immediately happen. Retrofunk getting hit by a living bomb there. Getting out of lane. No creeps or anything to blow up, but still good to get away from your friends. Take a quick look down here. Randy, Vala still sporting the mid. And Nazebo taking the bottom again. In fact, Nat's taking the bottom every single game. At least things are clear for them, right? They have very clear objectives. No confusion as to who belongs where. Dracomar maybe getting a little deep. These are early stuns, though. They have an Uther. He's going to walk out. Stunning the Johanna. Nothing bad going to happen on the back of that, but still keeps her back from Dracomar. And their main concern right now is this Jaina getting enough frost off onto that Tyrael. A level 1 Tyrael can fall pretty darn quickly. Of course, his shield's not very powerful this early on either, and with such a short duration. Plenty of room to burn through, and there's a Flame Strike, keeping everyone on Adults with Jobs back instead of diving on the Uther. Their great move by Hate Nicholas. Aggressive move by Tyrael here, getting forward, but he's just trying to muscle him out a little bit. Knight in 8 seconds. Boy, the objectives are always so fast on Garden of Terror. And looks like Nat's already getting in position. Gonna wait right here. He can see that the Zagara is still bottom. ETC moving up, though. This could be a bit of a sandwich if they can pull it off. Looks like Disastrous Weather Event is pinging for something to happen here. And looks like they missed their opportunity. They're gonna have a pretty safe little turn here. But with the Terror pissed off, nope, it's gonna go right back on a leash back to its spot. And that'll be 44 seeds on the back of Disastrous Weather Event's 15 seeds. So Zagara chasing the Nazebo up a bit, maybe getting into position. Nazebo soaking the middle lane, making sure he's still in range. ETC coming around the back. This is that sandwich I was talking about. 2 tanks could be a lot. Hate Nicholas going down to Randy, who's just boldly standing in these bushes, shooting him in the face. Tense, completely out of position, sadly. Falls into the Nazebo wall. Can't get himself out. He falls. And that is 2 deaths for Disastrous Weather Event, leaving this Terror basically theirs. I want to see a Disastrous Weather Event circle around, start taking the bottom Terror, you know, just to make sure that they can't get completely every single seed, but looks like they're getting a little hung up, soaking some mid lane. Zagara is out of mana, so she's got to get back as one of the prime DPS in a 2-tank comp. That's gonna, you know, need to happen, so not able to mobilize on the back of that. Looks like Johanna will be our Terror Rider. Tanks are good for it. Never put your supports in those, but tanks are perfectly all right, and you don't want to lose your burst damage, your auto attack. Nazebo would be the only real choice there. And in fact, they're going to let it sit. They're just going to let it count down while all 5 get in here and get some seeds. This could be disastrous if Disastrous Weather Event can actually get in and clean them up. Yeah, a little bit of an overextend from the Zagara. She's out of position. She's got creep, though. She's just going to keep running. Couple of Banelings going in there, and they're stuck behind the zombie wall. Oh, they get all the seeds. Still 30 seconds on their Terror, so they're going to have plenty of time to get back, but they're not able to hearth back. So if Disastrous Weather DWE can stay on them, then they won't get out of there, but 18 seconds. Johanna heading back. She's going to be fine. Looks like Jaina having to do the long way, but of course, keeping those long straight lines and not limiting yourself to an ETC body block charge in front of you by turning in here. That is the right choice as well. So Randy here, wailing on the bottom lane. Nazeebo gonna come in. If I know all adults with jobs, they're gonna switch out as soon as this is over, but could fall. Hydra doing a lot of damage to Randy though, so he's gonna have to back while Nats takes up this lane. Terror moving in. Uther and Tyrael top lane. Tyrael does a decent amount of damage, and they do have the stun of Uther. So a little bit of lockdown, but not enough damage to burn through the potted plant first, so Archer is just gonna keep on moving. Here's ETC waiting for her. Gonna do a bit of positioning. Mess her up if she can. Yeah, a little bit of a push there to stop that, but nope, she's just gonna lay the potted plant. 2 tanks here to defend. They don't really have the damage to deal with this, so they're just gonna try to zone out and do as much damage as they can with Archer. And what I mean by that is their damage is so low, if they might as well tick. If they wailed on it, they're only missing a couple ticks. Getting up into lane here, though, you do have the Kael'thas here, who has the living bombs to burn quickly through it. Only at 1 level off. Uther getting a little aggressive, getting a stun in on the Tyrael, but no one there to back him up. Only 2 in the back of this, and Johanna riding the terror so she can follow up. Going back into lane. Only 1 second left. Do they have one more potted plant? Nope, couldn't get in range. But that's still a very powerful first push. 5-minute terror. Getting down a wall and almost another one. Meanwhile, still doing great soaking XP. Let's take a quick look at the talents during this slow point here. If it is a slow point, Uther moving in. That's, oh, double blizzard falling there on the Kael'thas. He's gonna fall. And looks like we're not seeing anything too different this time. We have Kael'thas doing the normal sort of gamble Ignite build in the background here. Going with Mana Addict, in fact. Interesting choice. But Gathering Power, he needs to stay alive. Otherwise, he is just starting to cause the snowball against him as he loses power over a talent that maybe could have helped him out more. Zagara doing a great sustain build here. Of course, Nazeebo keeping her very busy in the bottom lane, so she's going to need that. And their enemy, Uther. Looks like Uther doing the exact same builds. ETC going to block. Again, a decent choice, but Val's not going to be the most auto-attack damage, and that could be a dead ETC. Ooh, just joining that at the end, but he does allow Kael'thas to get out, the more important target at the moment. But with 0 kills for Disastrous Weather Event, that Gathering Power is not doing much for him. Well, they're just going to be a group of 4 here, come around and take these camps. These camps are so frustrating. They come around the back here. They basically allow this whole lane to push forward because they clog up everything, and they're just gonna go take their giants. They know ETC is getting back in position. They can see these 2 here. They know 2 are in bottom lane, so there's no reason for them not to be here. All right, there's the ogres wailing on the top. Level 10 for adults with jobs. Nothing, same exact talent build, works well for them, so why change it up? They're getting in position. They're gonna go for the terror first. Get as many seats as they can while they know people are on the map. Currently, they are seeing these 3 up top, but they do not know where these 2 are down bottom. In fact, they don't really have enough health or a tank for the terror, so they've just got to get the few seeds they can and get out. Nazeebo real low, but manages to squeeze out as well. And here comes Tyrael. He's trying to make something up, but thinks better. He sees 4. It's a 4v3. He needs to get back. It's 2 tanks and a healer. They don't have the damage for it. And Uther trying to keep himself up, but Vala does blow her ultimate to take him out. As they are still not level 10, that is a fine choice. There's nothing really she needs to hold on to that for, and in fact, a dead Uther is just going to mean that adults with jobs is going to dominate this entire map for the time. But they're not far behind. Zagara probably type into the teammates, seeing what's up, what they want her to do. Gonna get in position here, trying to get some sight. Coming around the back, dropping some roaches. Getting the damage on the Jaina, which is a good choice. As long as the Jade is running, she's not doing damage. All right, we have Disastrous Weather Event mobilizing, coming around the corner. The seeds are already down, though, and Zagara may have just put herself out of position. Miss Small, could be a bit of a body block, though, but still, it falls. Uther immediately blowing the Divine Shield on the Vala. Vala has to get out completely. And that double tank dive actually getting a little bit of business done. Retrofunk, in fact, gonna have to unstoppable himself to get out. Little bit of range. Oh, a little hope. The Majora's Mask goes down for Tyrael, but it is not enough of a speed boost on top of the Water Elemental for him to get to that Uther. Had no health. They wanted him so bad, but that's still the first kill for Disastrous Weather Event. They do have their 10s. Anything interesting, and we have a ton of combo potential here. We could do a Devouring Maw into a Mosh Pit. Judgment, of course, great. Phoenix on top of that. Divine Storm, clearly they're going for a huge Wombo combo ult build. and that could really get them back in this if they can get them out of position. But for now, we gotta watch Archer just run across the map pretty scot-free. Of course, this is a pretty good little sandwich going on here. Kael'thas a little out of position. Uther a little far behind. ETC wiggling because he's not with all his teammates. But Living Bomb's going off on the Jaina, and that's too much damage for the Kayle again, but he does manage to get off his Phoenix. Decent little Phoenix there, but not going to be enough as Disastrous Weather Event gets a little stuck. And Tense, oh, there's the Tyrael dive going in, immediately invulnerable on that Nazeebo. Was he going to die from that? Probably not, but it made Tyrael panic, reposition. All the damage from that charge was lost. No one was there to follow it up. Still a good core group here to defend this, but it is 3v5. 3v4. Vala's pushing top as best she can in the background. Definitely a reason why these heroes aren't dying as quickly as they could with a 3-level disparity, but that is a dead Zagara. Unstoppable Johanna chase him back, and that is all 3 front forts for adults with jobs. So now we're a lot like in the situation in the last game. The camps are very quickly going for adults with jobs, and they're going to keep it that way. They've got plenty of time on their terror, so they can, work as a team as long as they can. Vala taking this up by herself. It's going to take a lot of damage. She's going to have to hearth back at the end of this, but that's not what this is about. It's just about taking a camp while the rest of her team takes this. And Disastrous Weather Event is doing exactly what they need to here, taking the camps they can reach. They need to reposition up and take these camps before the terror pops, otherwise those will go away. But they're too busy dealing with that bottom lane push, and here comes adults with jobs, and looks like at the 10-minute mark they are entirely ready to push on the back of this whole thing. Jaina out in the front, a little bit of a dangerous position for her. Johanna is inside the terror, so there's no one really to pull to mess up the enemy team to lock them down. But of course, the terror is a tank in itself. So let's see what they can get done. ETC coming around from the wrong side, decide better of it. Decides to go around the back. Great plant positioning. Gonna do a lot of damage actually to the Zagara there. She barely gets out, and in fact, that's too much damage on the Kael'thas as well. He can't really get in position. He's got his Phoenix. They have all their ults. The only one they're missing is Maw. There's the Tyrael dive on the Jaina. She's got the Ice Block, and the Divine Shield are still up, so there's plenty of things to keep her alive, while he just gets burst down in the background. They're going to relocate to the top. They still have all their damage. Tyrael, a bit of their damage. But they got their Kael'thas. They have their big damage combo, their lockdown combo with the Mosh Pit and the Divine Storm. So let's see if they can get in there and make it. Uther stepping in front of the tank, though. He becomes an obvious target, and Vala just going to do a ton of auto attack damage with that build, and he falls rather quickly. Of course, the Ghost is going to be able to still heal up everyone in the background, but a live Uther, certainly better than a dead Uther. And there's a very low Kael'thas falling too quickly. 3-level disparity. Doesn't realize the damage even auto attacks from a Nazeebo can do in that position. And Tyrael falls as well. Last minute decision to try to get out, but should have just pushed forward, gotten the bomb off on as many people as possible. But this is level 16 talents for adults with jobs. 4-level lead for them. So they're going to play rather risky here. But they know everybody's dead. They have full view into the core here. They can see everybody who's up. All 3 of them are working on lanes, so they're completely safe to take all of this. Once that is cleared out, let's put, I want to see the Zagara go, just start creeping up the whole base, go on the defense full, and get these 4 to go out, play real safe, but try to mess up everything Adults with Jobs is doing down here. And they may be able, they're going to get a keep, so that's going to, or a fort there, they're going to be able to get a little bit of XP off the back of that. But it's really these seeds that are just going to lose in this game in the end. It's going to be too many terrors barreling down their door. There's another one for them, in fact. Only one fort on the bottom. There's still all that Wombo combo potential. If they can just get scaled to 16, they will be doing all right. Oh, real low Zagara here coming around. Retrofunk going to stun him. And, oh, there's the stun. There's the Nazeebo. Getting a little bit of damage in. The Hungering Arrow misses, and wow, great Maw. Zagara keeps walking out. She needs to stick around, get healed up. Great choice. Bit of a deep dive. Wow, the reaction time on that Jaina, popping that Ice Block. Dracomar getting stuck in the back, completely tanked down. There goes Kael'thas a little too forward. Zagara doesn't have the confidence anymore to be forward because she's just a little bit below half health. There's the Ghost chasing her, trying to get her healed up. Come back, Zagara, get your heals. But Adults with Jobs is gonna circle around, take this one as well. They got the time. Johanna's already taking that terror. And looks like in the background here, ETC and Zagara just trying to figure out what they can do as the terror pushes bottom lane. And they know Adults with Jobs. This number's ticking up on their screen as well. They are going to be pushing in on them quick, but everyone will be up for it. And ETC taking a lot of lane damage from these catapults. Just so much damage unless you dodge, and they're kind of hard to dodge. These arcs just land, do splash damage. It hurts. It's the whole reason that new Abathur push build where they stack up the Locust with the range attack is so powerful. Just a bit of a delay tactic here. Not the best laid potted plant, but Archer knows that they're just going to burn through it back here. So he's just trying to delay, wait for his teammates to catch up. They got Nazeebo in the back. He's trying to clear out this lane so that they can get all the creeps up with them. This is the last fort they really need to worry about. And if they can just get 1 or 2 dead on the back of this, basically make Disastrous Weather Event panic and get some, give away some kills, that they can end this game. So the clock is ticking on the Garden Terror, but it doesn't really matter. He's got over 30 seconds still, and that's all that really matters for here. So here we go. It's almost 16. If Kale can just stay alive, I would even say get out of here, leave this keep to die, and just let it go. Get 16 on the back of it. There's the ults all raining out, and ETC falls, Zagara falls, there's a dead Uther. Kael'thas falls on the back of that, and Tyrael wiggling is doing a good job wiggling, but that's a Hungering Arrow just for him bouncing around. That auto attack damage from the follow, just huge in that build. It's gonna burn her down, and the whole enemy team is dominated. Disastrous Weather Event is dead, and it looks like we're gonna have a 2-0 victory. Adults with Jobs progressing on to the semifinals. I don't know who else is winning in the background. All games are being played concurrently right now, but Adults with Jobs, congratulations. Same comp. In fact, they traded out a guy. The Jaina is not the same Jaina we saw yesterday, but the exact same playstyle. Really speaks to Retrofunk, the team captain, doing a great job getting his players to play in the exact same way he needs them to. Regardless if they need to trade out of Jaina, they kept the comp the same. Nats, bottom, every lane. Vala, the auto attack damage. Jaina, huge burst. Uther, always ready with the Divine Shield to save anybody. The second they drop below half health, just really screwed up this sort of double tank dive comp that the enemy had. Zagara going to be the majority of their burst damage with the Hydras. And the Kale also. Well, I guess the Zagara in this case was more of the cleanup. And then Kael'thas was going to be that burst damage. And he did a decent job. Let's take a look at the numbers here. Because the fact that Kael'thas and Zagara at a 4-level disparity were still able to push up this far and in fact stay right behind the Jaina really speaks to their skills. Ignore the deaths for a second because Adults with Jobs was just in their business. 1 death on the whole team, just kind of snowballed from the beginning there. But Disastrous Weather Event, I applaud your fundamentals. You guys made some great choices. It almost seems like Adults with Jobs just had such a tight team comp, though, that it didn't really matter. It was almost like a Zerg rush. It was a cheese, almost, because it was so safe. Val in the middle lane, Nazeebo down bottom, and the Johanna, Uther, Jaina combo up top. You had to locate 3 there. You had to switch around the lanes. You had, what was it? I don't quite remember the early game comp, but I know we had 2 tanks in that top lane for a little bit. And we just need to switch out that damage. Put the Zagara and the Kael'thas, some long-range poke up there. So it seems like it just falls down to team comp in that case. And Adults with Jobs covered all their bases. Burst, auto attack, heavy tank, specialist, healer. Let's take a look at the XP. Well, nothing really to see there. Siege damage, though. Kael'thas doing quite a bit of damage. And when we look at the deaths, ETC really doing a lot of wiggle. Despite his tanking, they managed to really hold on and really tank a lot. Johanna, what? I've never even seen a Johanna take so little damage. I think with these decent numbers on the DPS here, that really speaks to Kael'thas and Zagara here. Hate Nicholas and Bonduke refusing to target the enemy tank, which is what you gotta do in these situations. Great choices all around. That was it for this round. I will be back at 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific time to cast the semifinals. We can take a quick look here to see where we're at. It looks like YOLO Sonias versus Spastic Noobs. Spastic Noobs has advanced, but we still don't know what's happening with Team Chocolate. That is Scott Johnson's and Willie Dill's team versus Stormcast, the Stormcast guys from the Stormcast podcast. Don't know what's going on in that match quite yet. And then, meanwhile, in the round of 8, we also have Pantheon versus Coldplays going on right now. I got to cast both those guys. Very skilled players. It'll be cool to see them go up with Adults with Jobs. I remember Coldplays, too, having a very roamy gank combo. And I wonder how that'll fare against Adults with Jobs, Solo Nazebo, and Solo Vala play. As for Spastic Noobs, I don't quite remember their comps. I know I've casted a game with them, but not calling that out. And between Team Chocolate and Team Stormcast, who knows who's going to advance there?